Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the September 14th Advisory Board meeting for Phase 1. We're going to start with roll call. Ed,
Here.
Pace, April, Kevin,
I am present, Mr. Samuel, excuse me.
Tawana, William,
I'm here.
Scott, Lunsford, Scott, okay, Rachel. Well, let's give it a minute and we will, if not, we don't see these people log on, we'll reach out to them. Rachel, who are we expecting to be out today?
The only person that said they would be out was April. The rest confirmed.
All right. If you will help me watch the lobby.
Scott Lunsford just joined.
Okay. Scott,
Can you hear me now?
I gotcha. Welcome.
All right.
And so we need either Tawana or Pace. Pace, are you on? Tawana? All right, we should have Pace jumping on here soon, Rachel.
Okay. I requested Tawana to join, but I haven't heard from her yet.
I'm sorry, Rachel, I missed that. What'd you say?
Said I requested Tawana and Pace to join, but I hadn't heard back from Tawana yet.
Okay. Pace or Tawana, are you on?
Neither of them are on yet.
Yes. I apologize, everyone. Pace should be joining us in about 2 minutes here, so. Everyone, I'm going to, they told me Pace will be joining in about 3 minutes, which was 3 minutes ago. I'll give it a little more time here. If not, I
I'm
will.
here.
Are you on?
I'm on.
Okay.
Hey, welcome, Pace. Welcome. Welcome.
I don't lie about my time, Terrence.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We will go ahead and start. I'd like to remind everyone that this is a public meeting. If there are public comments, we'd like to limit those to 3 minutes. So give everyone a chance to ask their questions once we get to that point. So, but we're going to start with the review and approval of the last meeting minutes. Rachel?
Good afternoon, everyone. The last meeting was held on August 10th. The July 13th meeting minutes were reviewed and approved. Terrence Samuel discussed the presentation at the Tax Collector Steering Committee on the 28th of July. There was a brief system performance update presented by Chad Hutchinson, followed by a phase 1 statistics update presented by Michelle McGinley. There was no communications update at the meeting and no questions or concerns from members present. The meeting was adjourned at 1:10 p.m. and you can see the items that are distributed in a meeting packet prior to the meeting.
Good afternoon. Are there any questions, comments, or corrections?
No, Kristen, this is Billy. I move that we approve the minutes.
Thank you. Is there a second?
A second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, we'll mark these as approved. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kristen and Rachel. Next agenda item is stakeholder outreach update. As it pertains to phase 1, as you know, we are in production with phase 1 right now. But on September the 31st, some members of the team did a presentation to the IT Coalition at the Florida Tax Collectors Education Forum, gave them an update as it pertains to phase 1 on stability and things that we have worked on, which Chad is going to give you all an update here on in a few minutes. One of the things that we're doing as an outcome for that meeting, we have a meeting scheduled later on this week to work with IT Coalition and Tax Collector leadership on standing up sort of a notification page whenever if we have any issues with Orion, for them to be notified, and also in an electronic way to send notifications to the tax collectors as well. As I mentioned, that was on the 31st of August. I think I said September, but the 31st of August that we had that meeting. And there were other things that we discussed pertaining to phase 2, but this is a phase 1 meeting, so we'll move on. Phase 1 project update, as I mentioned, there are no team activities. And as a matter of fact, I believe that perhaps the next month will be our last phase 1 meeting, but we're still discussing that. But as far as the project updates, there's no team activity, but I do want Chad to give an update on things that we're still working on to ensure reliance until we can implement the ACE project. So Chad, you want to go on that?
Sure. Thanks, Terrence. Good afternoon, advisory board members. Just to remind everybody of what those issues were, and I mentioned this in the last couple meetings, actually, because we've had this issue since we've rolled out. We are, our applications are hosted in the state data center, and going back, I don't know, 6 months ago, we started to have issues where we would have what we're calling stability issues, which what that means is we would have a particular server start to not act right. This could be CPU, this could just be slow performance. And the way our applications are configured is we have what's called a cluster of servers, which just means it's a group of servers that all spread the load of the application. So being that we're in a shared data center, sometimes things could happen that could cause stability issues that we don't necessarily have transparency into or visibility into. And what would happen previously is when it did occur, we would have catastrophic failures where the entire system would start to bog down. And of course, as you know, that's unacceptable. So one of the things that we started to do, unfortunately, our application is designed in such a flexible way that we can do this, is we changed some of the back-end services around so that they were more isolated, meaning that if one server went kaput or kind of started to have issues, it wouldn't affect the rest of the cluster. And it wasn't necessarily a major change. It was a small and incremental change. Terrence alluded to that. We're still doing that. We're still beefing out the isolation of these servers. But we made those changes in concert with Florida Digital Service, which is our state data center that we're hosting our applications on. And we've had great stability. I think we're going on week 9 now, I want to say, without a major incident. We have had incidents where one server would have an issue, but because of that isolation work, you know, we were able to address it and not impact the field or offices where customers were coming in and, you know, getting work done. We're going to continue doing that. We're also improving tooling so that we can kind of report and see things more in real time. Typically, we'll see things as they're happening over the counter. We want to get to a point where we can catch it, right at the second it happens, and we're close to that. But overall, things are looking great. We're going to continue, hardening up the system, shoring it up, and it's looking great and it's performing great. Unless there are any questions, I'll turn it back over to Terrence.
Okay, all right, thank you, Chad. We do not have a communications update. As I mentioned, phase 1 is already in production. As I mentioned, we will probably have let next month be the last meeting for phase 1, but we're still looking into that. And as I mentioned previously, I'm going to open up for any public comments related to phase 1. This meeting is phase 1, which, like I said, is the system that's already in production. And if you have public comments for phase 1, as I mentioned, to give everyone time, limit those to 3 minutes, please. So do we have any public comments, any comments from the public at this time related to phase 1 of motorist modernization? All right. If there are no comments, for those of you that will be joining us for phase 2, we'll see you at 2:30, and thank you all for your participation today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Meeting adjourned.